Checkpoint cheaters. Immigration has never been a particularly passionate political point for me, but I've never liked people who cut the line. It always seems so common sense to me. If I come home and someone's broken into my house, I can kick them out. But I must be missing something. We've been talking about immigration in this country for years now. We have all these protests and riots going on everywhere. So when I heard that there was going to be a No King's Day protest in San Antonio just down the street, I saw it as a good opportunity to get out there and see what the other side has to say. All right, I am out here at a No Kings protest here in San Antonio, Texas. Several thousand people, a lot more people than I was expecting, who have just kind of been walking in circles around Travis Park. Got a lot of different chants going on, a lot of different signs.
Yeah,
what specifically?
No Kings in America.
So you got drag queens
over fake kings.
Over fake kings.
Yes, sir.
Would you consider drag queens to be, in fact, fake women?
No.
Not at all?
No.
Why not?
Because they have a right to their choice.
They do have a right, but it doesn't make them actual women. Okay, maybe that was a little harsh. So we're going to tone it back a little bit, see if we can have an actual conversation here. Could I ask you about your signs? Yeah? What are y'all out here for? What do your signs say?
Mine says, eat the patriarchy.
Eat the patriarchy? All right, I love it.
Fight ignorance, not immigrants. No kings, no Nazis.
No kings, no Nazis. All right, so what specific, are y'all mainly for the immigration, for the anti-Trump stuff?
Honestly, all of it. I feel like we should use our voice for the voiceless, and there's so much things going on right now that we should voice all of it and not just one thing, you know what I mean?
One part of it, okay.
I think it's really good to use your voice and speak up for the people who can today, for the people who got deported, and I just think it's unfair.
Do y'all know how many people ICE is trying to deport every day now?
Oh, many.
Many? Do you have a number?
I don't know the number, actually. I don't either.
Do you know how many Biden tried to deport?
I don't know numbers.
Do you know what percent were criminals?
I don't know.
Other than, being illegal immigrants?
What was the question? Sorry.
Do you know what percent that Biden or Trump are deporting that are criminals, other than being illegal immigrants?
No.
Do you know how many children are missing from HHS?
I don't.
Do you know what's your favorite statistic about the immigration policy? Like how much we're spending? Do you know how much we're spending on immigration?
I mean, a lot. Like, I've obviously done my research, but I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. Do you? Okay. Rough start, but maybe this guy has something worth saying. Could you tell me what your favorite Donald Trump meltdown is?
Shoot. Dang it. I'm not too sure. There's too many. I really don't know one off the top of my head. Maybe when he, didn't he tell somebody to be quiet or something?
I'm sure plenty of times.
Right. I don't have one off the top of my head. He's always melting down though.
Don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Ma'am, could I ask you about your sign?
Yeah, definitely.
Could you clarify what it means, what it represents?
Well, Palestine and Mexico and all the immigration that's going on right now, and the deportations, and it's all connected. It's all interconnected.
I'm sorry, say that again?
It's all interconnected.
It's all interconnected. Are you an open border person?
Yeah.
You believe in open borders? Do you think we should have any sort of protection on our border?
I don't know. I mean, I think that nobody's illegal on stolen land, and yeah.
Were you aware that we found 163 some odd known terrorist watch list people crossing through the border, the open border policies of the Biden era?
Okay.
Did you know about the 20,000 Chinese military-aged men that came across, as opposed to the 500 that came across the previous year in 2023?
Say that again?
Did you know about the 20,000 military-aged Chinese men who came across military age, so 20 to like 40 years old? For the previous year in 2022, we had about 500 come through. And then 2023, we saw 20,000. We actually saw 25,000, but 20,000 of them were single military-aged males. Does that concern you at all?
I don't know what you're saying.
You can't hear me?
I'm just overwhelmed.
Overwhelmed. It's a lot of information. What would you say about maybe the 85,000 missing children that came across the border?
85,000 missing children.
Yeah, so we have no idea where they are, but we know that they're in the country. Let you collect yourself. Huh?
What are you from?
I'm not from anything.
Okay. You just have like a TikTok channel or
Yeah,
what?
I just like to talk to people, hear what they're out here for.
Okay, for sure. What are you out here for? Just to interview people and
Just to interview, yeah, to hear people's opinions.
Okay, for sure. Well, I respect that. I honestly don't know what you said. I'm just like very.
Oh, okay, yeah. But did you know that we had about 135,000 children come in unaccompanied through the border during the Biden era, and
I fuck Biden too, dude. Like.
say that again.
I said, of course, like their immigration policies were awful too.
Oh, during the Biden era.
Yeah.
So you're not an open borders person.
I am.
What was bad about their policy during the Biden era?
Well, it was very similar to what's going on now. I mean, I think they're kind of one and the same. But obviously right now it's escalated and like people are, ICE is just getting more rampant around here. But I do think that, sorry.
No, you're good. Take your time. So during the Biden era, we saw about 11 million illegal immigrants, or close to 12 million now, come across the border that were undocumented. We didn't catch. Rough estimates, of course.
Overstimulated right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're totally fine. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. What's your channel?
There you go. It's called Gray Matter Garage.
Okay, sorry.
You're good. Thank you.
You're not gonna grow at heart with money is the root of all evil. The heart is the root of all holy. But with the love, keep growing with the love at heart. And who's the heart? God is the heart of all people. And it's called justice of the peace.
Don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Yeah, I stopped dehumanization. Could you explain that?
There's a lot of mistreatment on the current deportations. There's no due process on the current administration for it's all right. So I guess that's what my son thinks. So.
Do you think that just because somebody comes into our country, we have to give them the due process that's a rather expensive process?
It's more expensive what we're doing right now.
Say that again?
It's more expensive what they're doing right now.
It's more expensive?
Yeah, they're wasting more money on things that...
Do you know what the annual budget is for deportation?
No,
You're good, man. Thank you. How should we approach this problem? We have 11 million undocumented people in the U.S. where we don't know exactly what their historical background is. We don't know if they're criminals. We don't know if they're from one of those gangs. How should we approach that problem, you think?
See, that's a little bit. I'm not the smartest man, but me personally, I feel like we should build the wall, but like make sure there's a border checkpoint at every single section of this wall. Make sure that it is a little hard to get through, just so that way someone can go through that background check and let's see, maybe this person, maybe they stole cars, that's all right. Put them on a 6-month probationary. If they're related in any sort to any cartels, make sure they get a 2-year probationary period. I'm not the smartest man.
How's it going, sir? Do you mind if I interview while you're out here?
Sure.
Well, what are you doing out here?
I'm here to protest everything that Trump's doing. I mean, it's fucking crazy out there, and we need people out here to be showing, what the people actually want.
They're very anti-Trump, just overall, not so much specifically immigration, but just everything.
Kind of everything that's going on. I mean, immigration's the big one right now, but that's only the start. He's going to come after other people next, if he's able to succeed with this. So we need to fight ICE, we need to be fighting Trump, and basically the whole 2025, Project 2025 doctrine that they're trying to implement.
Who would he be coming after next?
Basically, I would anticipate that, trans people, they're already fighting against trans people, trans rights to, play sports, access to gender-affirming care, stuff like that. So, absolutely, that's the next step.
Do you think they would, deport trans people or send them to jail?
They're definitely trying to set a precedent that U.S. citizens that aren't following the law, so to speak, can be deported. So I hope not, but it does look like that's where it's going.
And then you mentioned trans athletes. Do you think that there's any unfair advantage that a man would have coming into a women's sport as a trans woman?
Well, so, I mean, it wouldn't be a man, it would be a woman because they would be taking hormones. I would expect that just like we have weight classes for certain sports, you would have certain sports of athletic class, maybe. Of course, you know, there are biological differences between people who are born with 2X and 2Y, but I feel like that alone, I mean, there's biological differences between two full-on women, so that alone isn't enough, I think, to keep trans people out.
So do you fully equate men who take hormones, get the surgeries and everything, they are women in every sense of the word?
I would say yes, they're women.
What is a woman?
That's a leading question and that I won't answer.
You don't want to answer it?
That's a leading question.
Well, it's just a question.
It's a leading question.
Leading you where?
It's leading for a specific question. It's not about where it's leading. It just is a leading question.
I think you have to have a lead. I mean, it's just a normal question. It's just a hard question.
It's a leading question that I just don't want to answer.
At this point, I gave up on having a coherent conversation with somebody about immigration. So I pivoted to abortion. There were a lot of people holding signs that said equal rights for everybody or justice and liberty for everybody. And I wanted to see if they would immediately contradict themselves when I brought up abortion, and I was not disappointed. Do you think that abortion should be allowed for completely optional?
I think it should be allowed. Yeah, I think abortion should be allowed.
Do you think that we should afford any protection to unborn fetuses?
I mean, no, because a fetus is a fetus, and I don't believe that it has to. It can't speak for itself. It doesn't have its option to be like, oh yeah, I want to live. I think it's just for the women. She gets to decide. Like.
Well, don't you think we should try to represent those who can't speak for themselves and try to defend them?
I mean, I guess so, but I just feel like a fetus, like, they can't talk, they can't think, like, they're going to rely on the mom to take care of them. So what if the mom just says, I can't do it?
So does a 3-month-old.
Yeah.
Or a 1-year-old.
At that point, it's already alive, a 3-month-old. I mean, if you feel like you can't take care of a baby, then there's other options, you know, adoption and stuff.
Well, it's alive as a fetus, too.
Yeah, once you give birth, it's a human once you give birth. Yeah, but I'm saying
It's a human fetus in the womb. It's the fetus is just like a medical term for giving you the date. It's like a human zygote.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So would you, for the completely optional ones, would you want to put a limit on that, since it is a human fetus that's alive in the womb?
Sure.
You would want to put a limit?
Yeah, I'm open. I just think at the end of the day, it's up to the woman, whatever she decides.
So a limit, but it's the woman's choice?
Yeah, still.
So no limit?
Yeah, I guess no limit then, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for your time. YouTube. It's Gray Matter Garage. Ma'am, could I ask you about your sign?
What's up?
I love your sign. Could I ask you about it?
She wrote this one.
You wrote it? Okay.
So really, I know she knows more
Yeah.
about it than I do.
Tell me all about it.
So I've just seen these comments on TikTok using kind of this formatting, the God forbid a girl wants, and ended it with liberty and justice for all. I think that kind of fits it's like, come on guys, it's like that's all we want. It's like very simple. It's not something that takes a lot. Most of you don't have a lot of empathy, but yeah.
Be empathetic, protect people who don't have voices. It's a great message. What would your stance be on abortion?
Very pro-abortion.
Very pro.
Very pro-abortion.
What about liberty and justice for fetuses in the womb?
Can you be more specific?
Like, fetuses in the womb don't have the right to life, much less liberty or justice.
I think it's
so what would you...
I think it's a very situational kind of thing. It's not like a one shoe fits all kind of thing. It's not something that you can just put one law over or one opinion over. It's something that's situational. Like, some women go through ectopic pregnancies. Some women go through like rape situations. You know, there's so many reasons that a woman would not want to have a baby, you know, or not want to give birth to another person's baby, and they should have that right. So
yeah, so you brought up common ones: rape, incest, health of the mother.
Right.
What about maybe the fetus has trisomy 21 or trisomy 18. That's Down syndrome.
I'm sorry.
What about a baby with Down syndrome? Would that fall under your exceptions?
I don't think it's necessarily about exceptions for the baby. It's more so about the rights of the mother.
It's about the rights of the mother.
The right to choose for the mother, you know.
Okay. And do you believe in any restrictions on abortion?
Not necessarily, no. I mean, like obviously late-term abortions that are just like, which aren't happening. This is like kind of a rhetoric that is spread around so often that just isn't true. But late-term abortions, like in the fourth or in the third trimester, like in the fourth trimester or in the third trimester and late in the second trimester, that just doesn't happen.
We have had a few. It's definitely very, very small. Ectopic pregnancies. Tell me more about ectopic pregnancy. Educate me, please.
Sorry, hang tight just a second. I'm losing my breath.
You can take a break if you want to.
Yeah, just give me just a second. A point that I want to make about ectopic pregnancies, about which that's something you can do on your own, something people can research on their own. But something that I want to make very apparent is, and something that I learned recently that I haven't known for all the years that I have been pro-abortion, is on insurance, when you're looking at insurance paperwork, even if it's a stillbirth, for example, even if a baby is born and they are born dead, if it's a stillbirth, that still is accounted for as an abortion on the technical insurance paperwork. So even if you have a stillbirth, of course that's going to be like seen as a late-term abortion because that's on paper to the insurance what it is, because that's the technical term to the insurance. That's not what happened though. Yeah. Right?
Very different. Yeah. That's one of the things I hate about it is abortion is like an umbrella term.
Right.
So it can be like you had a miscarriage or an ectopic pregnancy. We need more specific stats. Do you know how many states actually are required to do the reporting on abortions?
I don't.
It's only, recently I saw 25, but in 2021 it was only 8 states actually had to report on abortions. That's including reason why and if the mother dies on the table. States are only required to report if a woman dies on the table, but if they go to the ER afterwards and die, if they develop a complication later in the future. Do you think that's dangerous for American women?
Yes, absolutely.
So you would be in line with getting better stats on calling for states to do that. Great. I'm glad that's something we can definitely agree on.
And please don't put my face on any platforms or anything.
No,
I would appreciate that. But I have had it. I've actually.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Why?
I took my mask off for a second. But
why do you do the mask and everything? So many people do that.
Just for comfort. I sweat a lot on my face, so it just kind of absorbs the sweat. Literally, it's kind of it. But also for situations like this, I just like my privacy.
I totally understand that.
But oh shit, what was I gonna say? Oh, I've had an abortion myself actually. And it was just a situation where, like, I didn't know the dad like that. I guess it was like I was uneducated. And not because I didn't want to educate myself. It's because at that time I didn't have the tools to educate myself or the people around me to be educated on it and how to be safe with having sex or those types of things. And it was definitely one of the hardest things I've ever gone through. So, like, especially pain-wise, I would say it's one of the most painful things I've ever gone through physically. And so it's not like women just want to have abortions for funsies, you know?
Yeah, I don't think anybody.
Yeah. So.
Hello, ma'am. Sign says all my outrage can't be fit on one side, so I'll let you fit in an interview if you want.
Yeah. Where do I start? Do you have a couple years?
Yeah. Why are you out here?
I'm out here because I think there's a lot of injustice that's been going on. There's a lot of things that I don't agree with. There's a lot of people that don't have rights. There's a lot of just things that are not right in this country, and if we stay silent, then it's like we all have these thoughts, but look at all the people that are here right now, and if everyone comes out and says, hey, I'm pissed, like, hey, I'm not okay with this, like, they have to listen to us sooner or later. So, yeah.
Is there any one specific topic, or is it just all full anti-Trump, full?
Well, everything that has to do with, like, me being able to exist as a human, you being able to exist as a human, everyone not having healthcare, not having rights to education, our money going to killing people, going to parades, going to things that just don't matter, and, like, things that do matter, like, it's supposed to be for us. It's our country, so why is it not going to us, you know?
I hate taxes as much as the next guy, for sure.
I'm
So.
all for taxes. Yeah, great. Let's have taxes, but let's use them for what they should be used for.
Use them appropriately.
Exactly.
So you were saying like people who don't have who doesn't have rights in America.
I don't know. I'm a woman. I don't think that I have rights as I should.
The right to what?
The right to decide what I want to do with my own body, for one.
Right, an abortion.
In Texas, yeah, an abortion. That's just like a first thing that comes to the top of my head. Like, yeah.
Would you say also that maybe a fetus doesn't have a right to life?
A fetus might not have a right to life, yeah, but okay, I'm not saying let's kill babies. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying.
Who are you with, may I ask?
Me.
Okay, if you don't want to answer his questions, you don't have to, by the way. If it gets uncomfortable,
yeah.
more than welcome, you don't have to answer, okay? Just so you know, all right?
Yeah, I'll walk away as soon as you tell me to. That's like asking the questions.
Yeah, I think fetus has rights, but also I think that what are we doing for the people that are already here? You know, why isn't it worse to bring someone into this life or to force someone who doesn't have the resources to care for this child to bring them into this world where what's going to be their fate, you know?
Yeah, I understand that. You're coming from a really empathetic point that I fully understand. I think the pro-life side is also trying to come from that empathetic point, just misdirected at, you know, they want to recognize fetuses as humans, as human fetuses, and they want them to be respected the same rights. They want, you know, women to have their choice, but it also to be balanced with the fetus's rights. What are your thoughts on that?
Again, I think that's fine, but what's your counterpoint to what do you do with all these children that are homeless? What do you do? They're literally kids in cages right now. Like, how does that?
That was during the Obama administration with the pictures of kids in cages with the immigration laws. I'm sure it could be happening now. I haven't looked into that deeply.
Well, some of the things that I've heard in the news that I've received right now, there are people who are without food, you know, and they're in these situations. It's a concentration camp. If you don't have the things that you're supposed to be having, then you can't call it what they're calling it, type of thing. You know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, do you think that mass immigration has caused any sort of shortage on
I think there's one thing that we need to get clear. I understand what you're saying and bringing the other point.
Okay, I have to pause here and apologize to this woman first off because I totally let this dude come in, interrupt her, and I fed him the mic. So that's my bad. I'm sorry if you're watching. But I want to address the points that she was making. She starts with the stance that killing babies is better than letting them live in poor conditions. It's logically incoherent. So firstly, we spend billions of dollars. There are hundreds of federal, state, local, private charity, all sorts of different programs, all aimed at educating, feeding, clothing, and protecting kids in the U.S. And while we're at it, illegal immigrant children in the U.S., okay? We spend an enormous amount of money on that as well. Could it be better? Absolutely. Does that mean we can go around and shoot poor kids? Can we smother babies in the NICU? So why does this logic apply when we are systematically killing 1 million human fetuses a year? Just in the U.S., by the way, 1 million just in the U.S. It's because they don't actually believe it. Just like slavers didn't actually think black people were morally insuperior because they had darker skin. They want abortions for personal gain, and then they hide behind mercy. I don't think most people who have this stance actively realize that's what they're doing, but that's what it is. Now, before I got into all of that, she had pivoted to immigration and kids in cages. So please look up these kids in cages pictures. It's all nonsense. Could the conditions be better? Absolutely. Are they comparable to concentration camps? No. Again, that is a disgusting use of others' hardship to make your political point. We spend billions of dollars making sure illegal immigrants in custody are treated humanely. In fact, you know what keeps people, especially children, in inhumane living conditions? Allowing 11 million strangers to pour into your country, overwhelm your humanitarian systems, and then refuse to find them while they inevitably fall into physical, sexual, and financial abusive situations.
But of course, we didn't get to dive into all that because this guy came in, so let's see what he has to say.
Prior to the European colonial time period, is that what you're talking about? Because before I
have to
speak
a
the
little
natives
louder.
were here first, right?
Yeah.
So who came first? Who migrated here first illegally? And,
Illegally?
Yeah, and caused mass murder. Who came?
We did. We did.
Thank you.
So did the Spanish. So did every
For
single
sure.
country on
For
the face of the
sure.
earth.
For sure.
For the rest
so
of.
it's a problem, correct?
For hundreds of thousands.
So it's
of
a
years of
problem,
history.
correct?
Yeah.
And why hasn't the problem been fixed since?
We give
my
them
point.
We give them
My
a lot.
point.
We give them back
My
their
point.
land.
No, that's my point.
We've given millions and millions of dollars.
You're gonna want to rebuttal.
I am not listening. La 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 la.
But can you just say yes or no? Yes or no question.
What's
Wasn't
the-
that what I asked? Wasn't that what the Europeans did like a century ago?
Yeah. That's how all of history's worked.
Yeah, but
It's through conquesting through land, and it was wrong. And I think we've tried and really honest. I don't think either side wants to take Native Americans' lands. I think that was something that our forefathers did, and I think it's
still a thing though. Wouldn't you think?
how is it still a thing?
So have you been exposed to the 1919 quotas?
The 1919 quotas?
Yes, the quotas that were passed back in the 1900s. When...
Please educate me.
Okay, thank you. So, before you talk about migration, let's go into the migrations that took place in the 1900s. Are you aware of the migration policies that were placed in place?
Sorry, say that again.
Were you aware of the policies that were in place in the 1900s about migration?
I'm not exactly which ones you're talking about.
So why are you out here talking about migration then? Or why are you trying to get opinions about people or on people's opinions on migration if you don't even have a correct one yourself?
I know a lot about immigration.
You really don't if you don't know the last.
Do you know how many children are missing in the United States from illegal immigration?
I'm not a statistician, but
exactly. There's things that I cannot know and you cannot know, and that's okay.
Do you know that?
I'm here to learn.
Do you know that number then?
It's 85,000, and we
fact check me right now.
You can fact check me. I just told you the statistic. We're missing 85,000 children that HHS gave to sponsors.
How many children?
It was 135,000 that came across without, unaccompanied.
HHS. And what? Continue. What was the thing?
It was 135,000 that
How
came
many
across.
children are reported missing?
Well, they're not reported missing. The HHS can't get in contact with them after giving them to their sponsors. So we're finding them in all sorts of sex slavery
so
rings.
what are you trying to say? The missing kids reported by the HHS?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I asked.
HHS has lost 85,000 kids.
How many children are reported lost?
Mm-hmm. How many kids?
I'm trying to be.
No, how many? Put this exactly. How many kids has HHS lost or lost track of?
Has HHS lost? How many kids has HHS lost?
You can scroll for a little bit.
How many did you say?
85,000, and there's 135,000 roughly that came across, and of those 135, we can't find 85.
And when was the last time number that you got? When was this?
Like the year?
Yeah.
It's like 2022, 2023.
Well, 26 November 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Donald Trump's incoming border czar, Tom Homan, has said the U.S. government can't find more than 300,000 migrant children.
Okay.
So what you're saying
So it's a higher number.
So your number is inaccurate, right?
It could be.
Okay.
We have to look at the source.
And check the source I did. So here it is, BBC, are 300,000 migrant children missing in the U.S.? There's the date he gave us, and there is the quote from incoming border czar Tom Homan saying that the U.S. government can't find more than 300,000 migrant children. Now, this is a real quote, but if he had taken a few of his scrolls to look at the rest of this article, he would see that the majority of this article is dedicated to debunking that number. So let's start up here. 32,000 unaccompanied minors failed to show up for their court dates at immigration courts from 2019 to 2023. That's super concerning. We'll come back to that. The 300,000 number comes from this 291,000 migrant children who have received no court notices at all. I don't know about you, but receiving a court notice and being missing are pretty different things. And that's what this guy right here goes to point out, saying that when you hear the phrase missing, you think that there's a child that we cannot find. But that is not the case here because the government has not made any effort to find these children, which is also super problematic. But let's dig a little deeper here. So where does all this come from? This is a report from the Office of the Inspector General at Homeland Security that was released August 19, 2024. where they basically detail the incompetence and negligence of HHS and ORR to keep track of these children. So there's a lot of delicious stats here. We're going to come back to that. But we can just see very quickly that it does confirm the 32,000 that didn't show up for their court and the 291,000 that ICE had not served a notice to appear for or scheduled a court date for. So those numbers are confirmed. We're going to get back here, I promise. But let's check some more sources. So if we just do a good old Google search, let's just kind of give a rundown of what pops up. We got the BBC article that he gave me and debunks the 300,000 number. We've got these two that we'll come back to. This one confirms the same thing. This one confirms the same thing. This one confirms the same thing. This one says the same thing. This one says the same thing. This one points back to the BBC article. And this is a random Republican influencer who misuses this statistic. But he does have some other good statistics if you want to give it a watch. These two right here, I'm assuming are the government website that he's going to point to when I resume the clip. So let's look at these. These are both congressmen or senators, representatives, whoever on the Republican side, who this Michael Cloud here uses a super misleading title, which I don't like, but he does give the actual stats here. So half shame on you, Mr. Cloud. And this man right here just outright says that there are nearly 300,000 immigrant children now unaccounted for under the Biden-Harris administration's watch, which are deeply troubling and demand scrutiny. I agree, but your number's wrong. Just a year ago, the figure was around 85,000. Where could he have gotten that number from? Well, first off, shame on you. Second off, this is the Committee on Oversight. This is a little hearing summary published in 2023, and the statistics are from 2022, just like I said. And there is our magical 85,000 lost unaccompanied alien children due to the flawed vetting system of sponsors. So they talk about a lot in this hearing. It's like 2 hours long. I do suggest you look at this website. They have these fantastic clips, good fact checks, good quotes. I love it. But there's where I got my 85,000 number. And I did say that there were 135,000 that came across, and that's actually 129,000. So I will have to end my career here. I'm not allowed to have an opinion, and I do deeply apologize for that. I will never speak again on immigration after this video. So where exactly does this 85,000 number come from? Are they actually lost children? Is this another the same case? So HHS is supposed to do 3 follow-up phone calls with children after they've been placed with a sponsor, and they were not able to contact 85,000 children. So they called them 3 times. They never answered. They never called back. They don't know where these children are. And you might say, well, Logan, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're lost, but let me give it some backing here. If we go back to this statistic and we pull up a calculator, we can see we had roughly the 450,000 unaccompanied minors that were coming across the border that were released to ORR. Of those, 291,000 did not receive a court date, which means only 160,000 did, roughly. And of those 160,000, 32,000 did not show up for their court date, which is a solid fifth. Now, if we extrapolate that number to say if they did give the court dates to the rest of the kids, if 1/5 of them aren't showing up because they're probably in serious danger, we're looking at 90,000, which is pretty dang close to 85,000. So I'm pretty happy with that number. Now, at the time, I had never heard of this 300,000 number. I knew what I said for 2023 was right, but I absolutely let this dude get away with gaslighting me and assumed that my own stat was out of date. And that wouldn't be ideal, but you're allowed to mess up. That was the whole reason that this stat got brought up in the first place. You don't have to know everything off the top of your head to have these discussions. Even though I got vindicated here, I learned a lot from this, and that's the whole point. I know I poked fun at the girls in the beginning of the video, but they don't have to know everything off the top of their head either to have an opinion. You probably should if you're going to hold a fight ignorance sign, but I digress. For instance, I still don't know what the 1919 quotas are, and he's not going to tell me. I know there was like a Red Scare Chinese immigrant limitation from like the 20s to the 60s, but I don't know what that has to do with Native Americans or modern immigration, so I don't think that's it. And that's something I don't know. I'm going to have more of these discussions, and I'll eventually find out, hopefully. But the one person who does have to know their stats and get it right is the border czar. Tom Hammond. What a disappointment. He either didn't read the stat, or he knowingly twisted it to exaggerate this. So come on, Tom. Do better. Anyways, please enjoy whatever this is.
So fact check yourself before you tell me something, just like you're trying to tell
Well,
us.
you didn't know the information.
You didn't know the information yourself, and you try to ask me if I knew the information.
I don't know why
How are
me
you
knowing
gonna...
stuff off the top of my head matters.
I know. He's an instigator. That's his job. That's his job. I know.
That's not my job. I just
It is
am
your
out
job,
here.
obviously.
I'm out here because I'm on the other side, and I want to hear, honest to God, y'all's opinions. I want to confront the other side. I want to have an open dialogue.
And I've had these discourses with
I know, I'm
Palestinians
just
and
letting you know.
Israelites, so like it's something
Just
that
letting
I
you know, he's gonna turn everything around.
I appreciate it, and that's what I told him.
Hey, I'll record.
Everything that I have to say.
Hey,
He will never
I'm
try
gonna
to
post
say yes
all
or
of
no.
this unedited if you want.
He will never try to
Logan
say yes or
Edwards
no.
and his Gray Matter Garage would be the channel.
What is it?
Gray Matter Garage.
Okay, great.
I don't have any videos
I'm
up
an
yet.
educated man. I wish
That's
you get
okay.
educated on this
I would
specific
love if
topic.
you would educate me on the 1919 deals that you were talking about.
Well, did you know? Actually, I'm good. I'm good, actually. Because I already made my point because you didn't know anything that you came over here to talk about. Try to give me a fact that wasn't a fact.
Well, after you scrolled through 10 different sources, you found one that disagreed with
You
me.
want me to scroll? This is by BBC, by the way.
Okay.
We can continue. What's this number? That's another one by the government. By the government. So I don't got to say anything else.
You didn't
gave
know
me
the number
something that
from the
was
start.
false, and you try to question other people.
This number's higher, though. That's of higher
Learn
concern.
before you come and talk.
I didn't even lie
Learn
about
and come and
my
talk.
point.
You did, though.
I
You
did
did,
not.
though. If you can't give me
If it's 300,000, isn't that more concerning than 85,000? Does anyone want to have an open dialogue with disagreeing ideas? Okay.
Have a good night, man.
Y'all have a good night.
Be safe.
I can turn the camera off. We don't have to record anything. Well, this way I can have more effect in the United States because more people can see it. It's the same thing as the reason why y'all out here protesting,
Have a good night. Be
trying
safe,
to affect the
okay?
public.
Have a good night.
Yeah, y'all too.
Thank you for your
Have a good
time,
night.
man.
Thank you for that.
Nice fella. I wonder if he's gay.
And that was enough No King's Day for me. I did have this little conversation on my way out of the park, but I'll spare you this one. These people were crazy. Hopefully you enjoyed this little venture as much as I did. This is all very new to me, very much a learning experience. That 85,000 number is going to be burned in my brain for the rest of my life. I did find a 2025 report from, I believe, March that does confirm my little extrapolation on the kids without a court date, as well as tell a bunch of other horror stories about HHS giving away 34 kids to 2 addresses that didn't exist, so that was fun. There are so many things that I wish I did different and I would do different, and as of recording this video, I've already gone out to the Gay Pride Parade here in San Antonio and incorporated a lot of that stuff and did a full abortion-based video.
No, listen. I am pro-life and I like talking to people. All right.
That's on its way. Look forward to that. I think it's going to come out a lot better. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I've got more on the way. So this is Logan reminding you to leave it better than you found it.